Hi, my name's Sherrington and this is my assignment for Design for Interactive Media and it's for a sound-based application called Animal Fun. I found this exercise difficult as I had to think and interpret something that I've always subconsciously recognised in a completely different light, potentially giving sounds a new meaning. An example on screen is when my car is reversing, as it is quite an old model. It makes quite a mechanical revving sound, and I drew this reversing sounds of my car as small lines and as they crescendo, indicating that in a repetitive loops. The orange shade was used as I felt it was a colour of awareness and movement. This was my initial brainstorming for the brief, and I started by listing categories and following up by adding points that correspond with each. I thought that by starting like this I could pick a few items and then elaborate on that, ideas of how sound could be incorporated. I received some very good feedback from my tutor to reach out and think wider by incorporating scenarios into the categories, as from there I will have an easier and more constructed platform to potentially design for. After receiving feedback on my initial ideas to pinpoint on one category, I brainstormed around the kids and the driver in a vehicle. I looked up kids in the back seat and creating something fun and entertaining to pass the time for a road trip or a lengthy drive. I decided on pursuing an idea for an interactive game that kids could play in the back seat. For this activity, I have put below some expected, possible and unexpected acts in and around a vehicle, and I've partnered these with descriptions for each. And just an example, for expected, blinkers have a mellow, quite a simple and warm sound, and something like unexpected would be a car getting scratched up, which would be a really high-pitched, low colours of red and quite a rough sound. For this activity, I read resources that explore themes of various advancing technologies, from books to journal articles, blogs and online articles. And there was one book that explores current and future innovations through advanced technology and with the added intention of user experience and usability. It gave a real good insight into some technologies that could be utilised for my idea, such as 3D displays and fusion eye tracking or head tracking data. Another point was augmented reality, which is another subject that I will be heavily relying on for my idea. It has the ability to improve performance of tasks and how information can be perceived in a vehicle, and it is the projection of virtual objects in the real environment. I found it difficult trying to redesign my idea with other sensory gestures as a main component, and I found that the redesigning of this was not very innovative or made for an interesting application. Ultimately, I didn't find any of the different components to be of use to my final design, as some being a little bit far-fetched, such as the taste and smell sensors. This was the Toyota Motor Europe and the Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design, and they have also played with augmented reality with their new concept Window to the World. This concept is based for the backseat windows and allows for a different and interactive passenger experience, where users are able to zoom into selected areas, draw with images, interacting with the outside environment, measure distances, translate objects into local language, and finally receive information on constellations in the sky. This concept extends possibilities for augmented reality and furthermore my design ideas. This was another relatable application, and the concept is based for the backseat windows as well, and also allows for a different and interactive user-passenger experience. It has 5 different features that are interactive by touching the window, and the concept extends possibilities for augmented reality and furthermore my design ideas. It is important when designing anything for a fixed audience to research about that target audience to determine its potential success rate. So I looked at young children, and I found a great journal article that talks about the relevance of touchscreens and other types of technology used in the lives of children today. It goes on to explain that touchscreen is beneficial of cognitive development, and found that sound-based imagery applications were the majority of preferability in children. Therefore, this gives factual evidence and backs up my sound-based interactive idea will be beneficial and popular with children in the backseat. So this is my final design and it's targeted at young children. The windows use touchscreen technology turning into an interactive surface, and the application will be based upon an augmented reality technology where a computer-generated image is superimposed onto the real-time environment that it is viewed from the window. So an animal theme will be selected and the startup screen will vanish and an animal will appear interacting alongside the real-time view outside. As the car is moving, the animal may be running into the ocean, or running along in the distance, or swinging from a tree to tree. However, to create more of a game and a challenge, the animals will not simply be in plain sight and will be sneaking around behind trees or running quickly over hills. The interactive sound component is utilised when each animal is touched, therefore captured and put into the sound bank. Their corresponding noise will play, and once an animal has been collected, the passenger can go back and listen to the sounds through the sound bank and also select an animal they wish to interact with further on.